Hey there, welcome to my channel. My name is Shawn, and today is going to be a vlog style content. I'm just gonna kind of be yapping and getting this sweatshirt completed. So it is for a glitter HTV applique sweatshirt, and this is the design. It is for a realtor, and so I'll be going over all the supplies that I'm using. I'll also have everything linked below in the description box. But while I'm getting this all ready and we get it stitched out, let's talk about mistakes that cost your business money. And I have my notes off to the side on my laptop, but so if you see me looking down, that's why. But I have 7 tips, and in no particular order. So I'm just gonna yap. So, well, while I get this sweatshirt hooped up, I always use my t-shirt ruler. You can use the 4-finger method, 4 fingers down, but this just saves me time and helps me get everything centered and hooped up quickly. And then I just use a little sticker to mark the top of that center point where I want to hoop it up at. And I also did not cut any stabilizer, so let me handle that. But the number one mistake that will cost your business, and this is just from me talking with other content creators or business owners, or just in conversation, is not having a contract, not getting things in writing. That's going to be the number one costly mistake, because having things in writing can help you in so many ways. And let me get my hooping station over here so I can get this hooped up and get it on the machine. Okay, so here we go. Got her over here. So this is the HoopMaster hooping station. Now, getting things in writing, personally, I make sure, especially when someone reaches out to me for something custom, because that is the majority of my business. I do a lot of custom orders, a lot of personalization, things like that. I get everything in writing, and not just the email. I get email too, but not just the email. I also have on my order form, say like this particular customer. This customer reached out to me. She knew she wanted realtor and she wanted glitter HTV. At first she wanted sequins, then she switched to glitter HTV. But I made 3 different designs. I did this one, a college font one, and another one. And she liked this one. So I said, okay, so what I do is once someone approves the design, then I will, from Hatch's software, I'm able to save the image. I save that image and I put it on my order form. At the bottom, I have a little box and I put it in there, and I'll add a note, customer approved, and then there's a signature line. The customer either needs to sign it, wet sign it, meaning they print it out and sign it, or they can e-sign it. Either way, I don't care, as long as there's a signature on there. Now, with that being said, you can just get an email and, just say, have them say that they approve in the email. I want your signature. I want it in writing. Because I also have other information on there, and I put on right under the signature line on my order forms is, you have read and agreed to the terms outlined in this order or on this order form, something to that extent. But yeah, they have to sign off on that. And again, I don't care if it's they just sign it with their finger on their phone or their tablet or whatever, or if they do a they print it out and do a physical signature. Either way, I'm getting their approval. And not getting a customer's approval can hurt. I have had 2 chargebacks over the years. This hasn't been recently, it's been years ago, but 2 chargebacks. One of them I won, and the first one I lost. The second one I won. That second one I won because I changed up how I did things, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that in the other tips I have for you. But that second one I won because that first one taught me, make sure I have everything in writing. And from that point on, I did not look back. So you definitely want to make sure you have everything that you and the customer spoke about, whether it's through email, on the phone, especially if it's on over the phone. I will then hang up the phone and email the customer following up on the conversation that we just spoke about, X, Y, Z, or A, B, C, D, or whatever. I'm going to have bullet points of everything we talked about over the phone. And then from there, whether they call me or email me, they're going to get an email regardless. So it is what it is. But make sure you have some type of order form, some type of contract, something in writing that if a customer tries to go and dispute or, anything, or say this isn't what they wanted, you have proof. Hey, you signed off on this. You approved this. I have the documentation, and you could show that. So 9 times out of 10, I keep all these documents in the folder for the customer. Only time I ever go back to those folders is if a customer reaches back out and they're like, hey, remember you made me X, Y, and Z? Well, I want these colors this time. But make sure that you get everything in writing. Trust me, you will thank me later. Now let me get this on the machine so I can do my trace and then let her start stitching out. So I'll be right back. All right, we got her on the mirror and she is stitching out. So I'm gonna get my HTV, I'm gonna peel the carrier sheet off. So when it stops, I can throw this down and continue on. Now, number 2, as far as costly mistakes that can hurt your business, is not having clear processing times. So and your processing time is just how long it takes for you to make the garment and get it to the shipping carrier, hand it over. Now, for me personally, it depends on the garment as well as the season. My processing times can change. The holidays will get a little bit more busier, so the processing times can change. But one thing I make crystal clear is my processing time are business days. So if you have someone reach out, you give them your quote, and they ask what's your turnaround time, and you say 5 to 7 days, or you say 7 to 10 days, I thoroughly say 5 to 7 business days. Not calendar days, but business days. Business days, Monday through Friday. Calendar days, Sunday through Saturday. I'm not doing no work on the weekend. Weekends, I'm closed. Technically, I'm closed, but really I'm not, because I still be here working on stuff. But that's besides the point. I'm off. And that's that. So make sure you make your processing times clear. If the customer orders, they see something you make and they order it, but they want to add extra words or a design or whatever it is with that, add on to that processing time. Well, okay, I'm making this and I got to make this. So this is going to be your processing time. Make sure you have that set in stone and that they are aware. Again, I have that also on my order form, what their processing time for their particular order is going to be, because I don't want any confusion. I don't want them to reach out to me on a Saturday like, I haven't got my tracking number. Yeah, because you're not going to get it till Monday. But make sure that you have clear processing times. And so the placement stitch is done. I'm just going to lay down my glitter. And I just lay it, making sure it's covering the entire design. which it is. And then I'm just gonna hit start. I'm just gonna hold it for the first few stitches for it to tack down. And then I let it do its thing. Now, with that, another thing is not testing your designs. So even, I don't care if you're a master digitizer or designer or whatever it is, your title is, test your designs. I normally feel confident about my designs. They usually look beautiful on that hatch screen, but I still test them because maybe what if I made a mistake? What if I need to resequence something? What if my density is off? What if I need to adjust push and pull compensation? So there's so many variables and reasons why you should always test your designs. That way you're not using your actual garment that's for your order for your customer to test, and then something happens and now the garment is ruined and you're like, oh man, now I gotta order another garment, or you're gonna have to use one of your other garments that could have been for another order. So now you are taking a hit, you're taking a loss. Yes, sweatshirt, it's only like $8 to $10, but it's still $8 to $10. If you keep making those type of mistakes, that adds up over time. So you definitely don't want to not test your designs unless it's maybe sublimation or a rhinestone template or something like that. But when it comes to embroidery, yeah, you want to test the designs every single time. Whether you're doing it yourself, you have an amazing digitizer that has never ever made a mistake, still test the design. Just use I normally use either an old shirt, maybe I messed up on, or I have like testing shirts where I just use it over and over and over until I run out of room, or cutaway stabilizer. So always test your designs, regardless if you're doing them or someone else is doing them for you. Number 4. This is a big one because I've had a hard time with this, and this is learning when to decline a order. One sec. So the tack down stitch is finished. But because this is HTV glitter, I'm just gonna go ahead and we're gonna go on to the final satin stitch. So I'm gonna just hit start and let it do its thing. So knowing when to decline an order. Sometimes you will get those customers that red flags, bells, and alarms should be going off, but you're like, oh, I'm getting an order, or I need this order, or I want to take this order. But the thing for me is if I give a customer a quote and, they either try to haggle me on the price, or they agree to, okay, I approve of this design, and then 2 days later or a day later they come back, or even the same day, and they're like, wait, can I add this onto it? Okay, yeah. And I'll let them know if there's going to be an upcharge, or depending on what it is. And then if they come back after that, well, could I also, and then if it keeps going like that, they're going to do that the whole order. And I don't mind a customer coming back saying, hey, I know I asked for this, but could you also add X, Y, and Z to the shirt? No problem. I get that all the time. But when it becomes recurring in a very short period of time, they keep making changes, you send it to them for approval, and then they're like, oh, well, can you also add this? And you send that to them for approval. Oh, I like that, but then can you do this instead? No. At this point, no. Like, that ship has sailed. Okay, and I will professionally as I can, let the customer know, like, hey, I've done a lot of work on this design. I've made, many changes. This is the final change that I can make to this design. So if you need a couple days to think about what it is that you actually want, and then you can come back to me at that time, and then we can pick up your order. But right now, I got to put this order on pause because you keep changing and altering the order over and over and over. And at this point, it's just costing me time. Well, I don't tell them that it's costing me time, but I'm thinking to myself, yeah, you're wasting my time at this point. 9 times out of 10, those people aren't going to come back to you anyways. It's going to be crickets. You're not going to hear anything from them. But just know when to decline the order. That was something I struggled with initially because I was trying to please everybody. You can't please everybody. So if something is off or it doesn't feel right, or your spidey senses start tingling, keep it pushing. Let them know, yeah, I'm not going to be able to make this, unfortunately. Good luck to you. Moving on to number 5. This is a huge one, and I see this a lot on TikTok where people have gotten burnt because they're not getting the payment up front. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Have I done this in the past? I have. About 6 years ago or so. I did it one time, and I'll never do it again. But full payment up front. I'm not taking a deposit. I'm not taking half. I'm not nothing. Either all or nothing. This machine will not be turned on. I'm not putting in a new bobbin. I'm not oiling the bobbin case until I get that full payment. And I've had a customer, I have multiple customers that have come to me and say, well, can I pay half of it this week and then I can pay the other half in 2 weeks? No, because I'm not going to make half of your shirt today and the other half in 2 weeks. I'm going to make it all. So either all or nothing. Or if you want to reach out to me in 2 weeks, you save that, you hold on to that, and then in 2 weeks, once you got the rest of it, then come back and holler at me. But no, I'm not taking a partial. I'm not taking just a deposit, all or nothing, because I'm using my machine, my materials, my garments, my fabric, or whatever else, and I'm doing that all now. I'm not doing part of that now and part of it later. So get the payment up front. If they don't send you the payment up front, if they're hesitating, if they're trying to, get on a payment plan, let it ride. Like, just let them go. Let them find somebody else to do it, because that's going to end up being a headache. So yeah, get your payment up front and let them know, stand 10 toes on it. I'm not turning on my machine until I get my payment. Next one, number 6 is huge, especially if you're watching this and you do embroidery, whether it's hobby or business or in between, whatever. You always want to invest in quality supplies and garments, items, whatever, but you want to invest in quality supplies. I recently got a bunch of new supplies from Bai, which I cannot wait to start using. So I got all of these goodies, and these are tried and true. I've been using Bai supplies and thread and their machine for a while now. I've had my mirror for over a year now. I started using Richword last year, their thread, I want to say, the beginning of last year. And then I started using their stabilizers. And now they even have puffy foam. So, yeah, I got more thread. Like, I don't have enough. But you can never have too much thread. So, this is the 40, wait, how many colors is this? 15 cones, the 40 weight, and these are the 5,000 yards spools. So, you can never have too many cones of thread if you do embroidery. I also got some more 3D, or their 3D puffy foam. I haven't tried theirs yet, not some more, but They're 3D puffy foam. I've been looking at this for a while, so I'm gonna try this. I have some hats to embroider, so I'm gonna be using this foam this weekend. And then their their cutaway stabilizer. This stuff is good. I love this stabilizer. Like the texture of it, and it's a good, strong, durable cutaway stabilizer, but at the same time it's like breathable. It's like lightweight. Like, I don't know if it's picking up the texture on the screen, but I really love this stabilizer, and I use it on multiple multiple items, and it always gives me a good result. So I've been using that for a while. And then their wash away too is really good quality. It's really durable. I've tried other stabilizers, and they've been like really wash away stabilizers, and they've been like really flimsy, and soon as I kind of tug it just a little bit, it'll like break apart. This stuff, it doesn't do that. It's very sturdy. And of course, if you don't use wash away stabilizer, it is a good idea to use wash away stabilizer. And then the cutaway. So that is everything that I did get from Bai for their new supplies. So I can't wait to try out this foam and see how that does on the puff hats that I got to do. But quality supplies, scissors, threads, your machine, your hoops, Mighty Hoops. Like, I would be over here struggling if it wasn't for Mighty Hoops. And yes, they are an investment, but they are well worth it, because the amount of time you're going to save as your business grows and expands, it's just worth it. It's worth it. You're going to have to invest in your business. Do you need to go out and buy everything all at once? No, get it over time. Get it as you need it. As far as like Mighty Hoops, or even garments, you can just get some garments for samples and see how they do. Are they doing well? Then you know, okay, I need to order however much more. Same with scissors, especially applique scissors. I do a ton of applique. I have multiple pairs of applique scissors, but my Gingers will always be tried and true, and they'll be my favorites. But that's why I say you have to invest. These are probably like $20-$30, and I do buy them on a regular basis. I do have a scissor sharpener, but it doesn't always do the best, so I'll just buy another pair. But it's an investment I need to make. But now I have my xTool M2, so I've been using my laser for my fabric, my sequence applique, and lifesaver and time saver, total game changer. But I also have these other ones. Now these I got because I thought they were cute, the little holographic look, and they're garbage. I probably only paid $10 for them. Now these I got from Joann's before they closed. These are Viking, so I got them in the Viking section where they sold all their machines. And I want to say I got these on sale for $15. Now these are pretty good. They do have a little bit of weight to them, which I really like. But yeah, over time these started to dull, and of course, I mean, Joann's isn't there anymore, so I can't just run down the street and grab some anymore. But yeah, am I gonna drop $20-$25 on some applique scissors? Yeah. Why? Because I know they're good quality, and I know they're gonna give me the cut that I'm looking for. So that's just an example of, you can go cheap and struggle, or you can invest a little bit more and get the end result that you're trying to get. And then the last thing, and I'm just putting these back, would be lowering your prices. So, and I get it, as a business owner, there's slow seasons. There's slow seasons, it's up and down. I'm not gonna say I get orders every day, or I even get a ton of orders every day, but I'm not going to lower my price just to get an order. Not happening. So if someone comes to me and I give them a quote and then they come back and say, oh, well, X, Y, and Z down the street said they can make it for $5 or $10 less or whatever, however much less than what my price is. Oh, that's great. Well, I hope everything works out for you. Reach out in the future if you need anything. Okay, go down there where they're charging you $10 less, and I just hope the quality matches the price. Not to say that it won't, and nor am I going to say that to the customer, but I'm just going to say, okay, great. Take care. I'm not lowering my price just to get a sale, because once you do that, that's what you're going to be known for. That customer, when somebody compliments them on your sweater or on the sweatshirt that you made them or where they got it from, they're going to ask, or the person's going to ask, you know, where did they get it from? Or, you know, that's really nice. And they're going to say, oh, I got it from Patched Embroidery. Sean made this and I was able to get her to lower the price. So all you got to do is just bargain with her and she'll lower the price to what you need it to be. And so that is word of mouth. You know, word of mouth spreads faster than even than social media. So, and that's what you'll be known for, the person that is willing to lower their prices, and the embroidery shop that people can go to so they can get over and get, you know, a custom garment for cheaper. Don't be that person, because that's what you're going to be known as. Make sure you, whatever your prices are, you stick to it and you stand 10 toes down. Now, if this customer would have said, okay, like she switched from sequins to glitter HTV, I was still in the design process. So I'm like, okay, cool. No problem. If she would have came back and said, you know, how can I get the price cheaper? I would have said, well, if you just want it just stitched out and you don't want any HTV or sequins fabric or any type of fabric at all, then I could, you know, we can do it for this price. If they're taking away something from the design, I can take away from the price a little bit. But if they're like, well, can I get it cheaper? You know, I'm going to refer more people to you. That's great. I appreciate that you're going to refer people to me. But what I can do is give you a discount. If you refer somebody and they let me know that you referred them, I'll give you 15% off your next order. But yeah, can't lower your price based on a hope. I hope you're going to follow through with what you're telling me, or I hope you're going to tell people where you got this shirt from, and I hope I'm going to get orders from that. So yeah, I'm not lowering the price off of hope. It's just not happening. It's not happening. But you have to, again, all these tips, none of them are in order. Make sure you get everything in writing. Have clear processing times. Test your designs. Knowing when to decline an order, that's a huge one. Not getting payment up front and payment in full. Now, I can't tell you how to run your business. I'm not going to do that. I would never. But get that payment up front. A deposit is cool, but get the payment up front, because you're making the entire garment up front. You're not doing it in pieces. So yeah, like I said earlier, this machine is not turning on. I'm not pulling out a fresh bobbin. I'm not cutting a piece of stabilizer until I got that payment in full. Point blank, period. Investing in quality supplies, especially if you're doing embroidery mighty hoops, a Bai Mirror, your thread, your stabilizer, your ruler to help you with placement, your hooping station, you know, whatever you might need, your rotary cutters, your scissors, all of that is supplies, and all of that should also be calculated into your price. The time your machine is running, the thread, the bobbin, the stabilizer, if you're doing puff, your foam, like all of this should be calculated into your price. Don't just get online and look at what other people are selling their shirts for, and then figure you're going to price yours at the same, because you don't know that particular business owner's situation. Even if they're posting online, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You know, are you a one woman or one man show? You know what I mean? Are you doing all the designing, the stitching out, the packaging, the marketing, the photos, the updating the website? Are you doing all of that, or do you have a team? So people that have a team that can, you know, hand off stuff to other people, they can adjust their prices accordingly. Now, if you're doing it all, you need to adjust your price accordingly as well. So don't just, you know, scroll down the Etsy streets and see what other people are pricing their garments for, because you might end up taking a loss. You might end up taking a hit that way too. But we are on the last letter, so we are almost done, and then I'll be able to show you the final result and get this shirt cleaned up as well. And I'm just looking for my lighter, because I'm gonna have to burn my threads, and then my scissors. But yeah, I hope some of those tips were helpful. And again, these are just things that either I've experienced or I've gone through, or just talking with other people that I know, whether they're a content creator, a business owner, a friend, or just someone in passing. You know, a lot of times when I do local farmers markets, you know, I get to talking with maybe like my neighbors, and usually we get to talking about business and, you know, different things. And yeah, other people have said the same things. And I see it a lot on TikTok. Like, people are taking losses, or people are taking orders at a cheaper cost because the customer they thought they had locked in went and got another quote, and that quote was cheaper. Let them go. Let them go get that cheaper, you know, design. And not saying that it's going to be bad, but your price is your price, and that's not up for negotiation. And some people will try and go back and forth with you. I'm going to dead that conversation immediately. I'm not haggling with you. I'm not going back and forth. But yeah, so those are my tips while I'm in here working. I also have 3 custom boxy bags I need to do, and another 2 sweatshirts. So those will get done over the weekend. And I also need to clean up, because I am going to be moving my craft room to another part of the house. So pretty soon this is gonna look a little bit different. So yeah. And I also have something else in the works, which I will show eventually, or soon, within like the next month. But yeah, I have some other something else in the works, so I can't wait. But getting all this stuff out of here, oh my gosh. Well, at least it's right in the house. So like the machine, we can just roll right to the other side of the house. But just moving all this stuff, taking all this stuff off my pegboard, and then my husband's gonna have to take the pegboards down and put them back up, and then I gotta put everything back up. Yeah, it's gonna be some work. Maybe I should film that and show y'all the process. I might, or maybe I'll just go live once I get my stuff into the other room and I have to get everything set up. Okay, we're just about done. Got about 2 minutes left. But yeah, just having that contract is extremely important, at least for me. And I have my order forms when I go to farmers markets. As I've shown in previous videos, I have my portfolio that I take with me that has my pictures of my work that I do, because when I do farmers markets, I'm not taking embroidered sweatshirts and stuff like that, just because it might sell, it might not, or I might sell out of one size and not another size. And so I have multiple order forms, And let me know if you want me to show you how I made these in Canva. So they were really simple, or maybe I can make them available for editable download. Yeah, I always struggle with that word. But so I have different ones. So a general order form, this is mainly the one I use at the farmers markets when someone inquires, and I'll get what it is that they're looking for, whatever details I need to get, their email as well as their phone number, and I'll follow up with them usually about a couple days after the market. And then I have like my custom for t-shirts, and then I think this one's for hoodies, and I know I have one for hats. So this is one that I use all the time. And I also have a waiver. This is very important. Regardless of if I'm doing custom work on a customer supplied garment, you're signing this waiver. There's no way around it. Again, they can physically sign it, or they can do an e-sign. Either way, this garment or this document states, hey, I'm happy to embroider on the garment that you're supplying, but if my machine suddenly decides that it wants to act a fool and eat your garment, I'm not liable. Nor can I, what else does it say? Basically, nor can I uphold like the quality because I'm not supplying the garment. It also says in here, we do not replace or reimburse customer-owned garments that fade after being washed, because you brought this to me. I didn't test it. I haven't used this before, and that's just what it is. So that's another huge one that you should definitely have if you're doing customer supplied garments. All right, let me get my shirt off the machine. And these colors look good together. And I did use the matte white embroidery thread, and that is Bai Store's embroidery thread. And I'm just going to tear this off. And I know I've seen some people saying, well, I don't like tearing off my HTV at the end and blah, blah, blah. Do what works for you. And whenever I can't get a piece, I will just use some tweezers just to lightly lift it up, and then use my nail to grab the rest. And I need something to drink. Toasted marshmallow latte. I made this earlier. Like Starbucks, who? Yeah. I need to open my own coffee shop. Real talk. So let me just finish getting these last pieces in the center and clean it up. Take off my mighty hoop, and this will be done. But let me know in the comments if you already like kind of implemented any of these things that I talked about, as far as, you know, saying no to customers, or not lowering your prices, or having a contract, or how do you make sure that if something happens, you're covered. All right, I got everything, so let me go ahead and unhook that. That's the main thing, is being covered, CYA, and, you know, making sure if a customer were to come back and say, well, this is not what I ordered, or whatever the case may be, well, you approved this. Is this not your signature? And that's why I'm big on signatures. I've worked in the mortgage industry for over 20 years, and I get have to have everything in writing. And so that has followed me over to my business life as well. And again, look how durable this is. I just love Bai's stabilizer. And just cut these last 2 pieces off and this will be done. Take some photos and then get this package, and this will go out on Monday with the rest of the orders I got to work on this weekend. And these little pieces of stabilizer like this, I'm saving these. Like I save some of my scraps because I could use these for something. So yeah, not only do I have a tote full of scrap fabric, I have a tote full of scrap stabilizer. And so this is how the shirt turned out really cute. And honestly, I could have used the wash away on top of this, but I did not, because I did kind of do like a raised satin stitch on this one. So yeah, that's why I didn't use it. But normally I would when I'm doing especially a sweatshirt, I'm using my wash away stabilizer on top. But that is today's vlog and yap. And let me know if you have any questions. I will have everything linked below in the description box, as well as the link where you can save $200 off your order of a Bai embroidery machine. There's no codes or anything that you need to enter. It'll automatically be added at checkout. And then for Mighty Hoops, you will get free shipping on your entire order. So make sure you check those out, and as well as Bai supplies. Again, I've been using them for a while now. I just need to test out the puffy foam, and I'll probably do a tutorial on making a hat, and I'll use this so you can see how it does with a foam design on a hat, and see the end result when it stitches out. But again, that's today's yap, and I will see you in the next one. And the next one should be a tutorial and not a vlog. So let me know what you want to see as a DIY video, a tutorial next, or soon, one or the other. I'll put it in my notes to make it within the next month or so. But I will see you in the next one, and thanks so much for hanging out. Bye.